We are at the mercy of our programming for the most part. As Jonathan Haidt calls it, we are a rider atop an elephant, right? And although we think that we're in control, for the most part, the elephant is moving us forward. And we're kind of, puppets on the end of strings or riders atop of elephants that we don't really get that much control over what's going on. But for every percent that you begin to get more aware of what your predispositions are, why they are that way, why is it that you have a preference for this particular type of partner, or for this particular type of food, or for this particular type of activity, why are you averse to these different things, why is it so hard to get up early in the morning, why is it so hard for women to go to the gym and train when they're in the second half of their ovulatory cycle. Each of the different things, each of the different episodes that's happened this year, to me, is one more insight into becoming aware of our mental afflictions. And you can quite easily go through life without viewing that, right? I don't want to peer into my own programming. I don't want to understand how it is that I operate. But you are, by definition, putting yourself at the mercy of that being your ruler, right? There is no way that you can rule anything that you're not aware of. It's just not going to happen. And given the fact that we are so driven by our programming, becoming aware of it has to be the first step en route to becoming less at the mercy of it. So I really love that. Ultimately, happiness comes down to choosing between the discomfort of becoming aware of your mental afflictions or the discomfort of becoming ruled by them. And a similar one from Greg McKeown, which is kind of applied to life design, that again, Readwise resurfaced this year, which is great. You have to focus on progress toward a specific thing in the medium term, or sacrifice meaningful progress toward everything in the long term. You have to focus on progress towards a specific thing in the medium term, or sacrifice meaningful progress toward everything in the long term. You cannot control the mind with the mind. You have to use the body. This isn't strictly true, I think, because meditation is the mind helping the mind to relax itself. It's not strictly the mind controlling the mind. And I do think that applying more cognitive effort to a cognitive problem sometimes doesn't really help, which is highlighted perfectly by George Mack, my friend from 4.5 years ago on the show, who said, trying to think your way out of overthinking is like trying to sniff your way out of a cocaine addiction. And those three together, you can't think your way out of a feeling problem. You cannot control the mind with the mind. You have to use the body. And trying to think your way out of overthinking is like trying to sniff your way out of a cocaine addiction. You can take them as a whole to basically see the body is a single unit. The body and the mind are one system, and trying to separate the two is kind of hopeless. And increasingly, as guys like Huberman and Dr. Russell Kennedy as well release more information about how intrinsically linked our mood and our bodies are, you do realize, like, look, I feel X, I feel agitated or frustrated or sad or whatever it is. It's like, okay, I could try and sit here and apply cerebral horsepower in an effort to try and push this away, or I could just go for a walk, or I could go cold plunge, or I could go sauna, or I could train, or I could see a friend, or I could have a conversation, or I could journal. The bottom line is that trying to think your way out of thinking problems doesn't really work, and trying to think your way out of feeling problems doesn't really work. And trying to rely exclusively on cerebral horsepower to fix problems that are occurring in the mind or the body also doesn't really work. So it has to be this whole kind of holistic, fully ecological view of both yourself and your surroundings and the environment that you're in and your routines and your habits and so on. You can be anything you want, but you can't be everything you want. In the modern world, given that we have so many options on Uber Eats, Deliveroo, Amazon, whatever app you want, wherever it is that you want to go to fly, whatever you want to learn about and read, it creates a blue sky vision, which is very good for creativity, but is suboptimal when it comes to you thinking about how am I going to design my life. Yes, you can learn about anything you want to on the internet, but you don't have an infinite amount of years that you can spend applying that to your life. And if you try to learn absolutely everything, the jack of all trades, master of none, comes through, it'll kill you. You need to focus on something in the short term or in the medium term as well. So you have to contemplate the price that you pay for inaction. And a lot of the time, what you're waiting for is not actually contributing to you being able to make the decision any more easily. If Postponing a problem extends it. And if there is a price that you pay for inaction, and if time doesn't help you make decisions, information does, and you are not getting more information as you wait, all that you're doing is postponing that problem, and you are not making a decision. You are continuing to push that out. So, any large decision, any difficult decision that you feel like, I don't know, you're not sure whether or not you're going to pull the pin on this thing. So you sit back and you wait and you wait and you wait, and time just continues to pass. And you presume that this is an impartial, independent strategy. But that's not the case. That's not the way that this works, unfortunately. And it's a nice reminder of the urgency of doing anything, I think. Parkinson's law, work expands to fill the time given for it. If you have no deadline for the decision that you're going to make, you're just going to continue pushing it off and off and off. And reminding yourself that there is a price that you pay for inaction is a nice way to kind of add a little bit of urgency into everything you do.